Was I wrong for what I did? Honestly, I've replayed that day in my head 1,000 times, and I still don't know. For 6 months, my son, Kevin, called me every single night, right at 9:00 p.m., and asked the same question, delivered with a casual lightness that never quite masked the underlying demand. Are you alone tonight, Dad? It was a chilling question, one that spoke volumes about his impatience, his greed, and his utter contempt for my life after his mother passed. But last night I lied. I told him I was completely alone, knowing full well that a certain, very important man was sitting right beside me. And in that one simple lie, the truth about Kevin, about his wife, and about the meticulously constructed web of betrayal they wove, was exposed completely and irrevocably. The fallout was immediate, catastrophic, and completely satisfying. Tell me, if your own child is only calling to confirm you're still isolated enough to die and leave them an inheritance, would you have waited for a less explosive way to expose their cruelty? Let me take you back to how this began. My wife, Alice, passed away suddenly just over a year ago. It was unexpected and completely devastating. We had been married for 40 years, and she was the axis around which my entire world spun. I had spent my life as a moderately successful real estate developer. My portfolio wasn't enormous, but it was significant. A few commercial properties, a solid investment account, and, most importantly, the ** family home **, a beautiful old estate on a prime plot of land completely paid off. Alice and I had always planned to leave everything equally to our 2 children, Kevin, my son, and Lisa, my daughter. Lisa is a nurse, caring, hardworking, and lives a simple life a few states away. Kevin, however, lives close by and runs a small, struggling consulting firm. He married Sharon, a woman whose entire personality seemed centered on designer brands and social climbing. The moment Alice was gone, the dynamic in my life shifted. Lisa was consumed by genuine grief for her mother and worry for me, calling to check on my emotional state. Kevin and Sharon, however, immediately focused on the estate. Within weeks of the funeral, Kevin was gently, then not so gently, pressuring me about the ** will **, the ** house valuation **, and the tax implications of leaving the investments untouched. I was still drowning in grief, but Kevin's clinical focus on money was like a cold splash of water. He began visiting frequently, but his visits weren't comforting. They were surveying missions. He'd walk through the house, pointing out areas that needed updating or liquidation. He was especially keen on the investment portfolio, suggesting I transfer control to him so he could manage it more effectively. I always refused, citing my need for time and my trust in my own financial advisor. But the pressure never stopped. 6 months ago, the visits stopped and the phone calls started. Every night at 9:00 p.m., like clockwork. "Hi, Dad, just checking in," followed by the dreaded question, phrased like a loving inquiry, **, "Are you alone tonight?" I knew exactly what he was confirming. He wasn't asking if I needed company. He was verifying my status as a **, single, vulnerable, isolated widower, **. He was looking for evidence that I wasn't dating, wasn't selling assets, wasn't changing the will, and, most crucially, wasn't about to remarry or find any kind of companionship that might complicate his inheritance. The thought of me finding happiness, or God forbid, a new wife, filled them with panic. I started lying immediately, saying yes, completely alone, just me and the TV. Even when I was on the phone with Lisa or a friend. The lie was easier than the argument, but the repetition of the question, night after night, slowly eroded my soul. I realized they weren't calling out of love, they were conducting surveillance. I was a human time bomb of capital, and they were checking the fuse. About 4 months ago, I started to take control. I had been friends with George Harrison a very successful property developer and owner of the largest commercial real estate firm in the city, for decades. George had always been a friendly competitor and confidant. I finally sat down with George and confessed my misery and my children's greed. George, who is divorced and knows the pain of fractured family dynamics, listened patiently. He offered me not pity, but opportunity. It turned out that George's firm had been trying to acquire a niche portfolio of commercial properties exactly like mine for years. He proposed a deal. I would sell him my entire commercial portfolio, plus the family home's prime land plot not the house itself, but the land it sat on, which was immensely valuable to him for future development. The deal would make me immediately significantly wealthier than I was already, liquidating nearly all my tangible assets into cash and investments completely controlled by me. Crucially, the deal included a long-term leaseback agreement on the house, meaning I could continue living in the home rent-free for the rest of my life or until I chose to move. I would retain my home, gain immense financial security, and liquidate the very assets Kevin was obsessing over, all in secret. I jumped at the chance. The entire process took 3 months of intense, quiet legal work. George and his lawyers ensured every step was insulated from public knowledge, using shell companies and blind trusts, so the asset transfers would be nearly untraceable by a casual observer like Kevin. The sale was finalized last week. I was now a very wealthy man, but the house, the physical structure, was the only thing Kevin and Sharon would recognize as mine. The land beneath it, and all the financial weight, was officially gone. I knew the moment they found out, they would explode. I needed to control the exposure. So that's the situation I was in. I had secretly executed a multi-million-dollar deal that protected my future and deprived my greedy son and daughter-in-law of their expected windfall, while they still called every night to check if the useless old man was dead yet. Tonight was the night I was going to expose the whole scheme. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have just mailed them the amended will, or would you have set the stage for one final, devastating, in-person confrontation? I chose the confrontation. I owed myself and Alice's memory a moment of final, public clarity. Last night, I invited Kevin and Sharon over for an important family discussion. They arrived exactly on time, Sharon wearing a dress that was definitely outside their current budget, no doubt anticipating a major announcement regarding my will. They were polite, overly so, but their eyes kept darting around the house, measuring, appraising. "Dad, you sound serious," Kevin said, trying for a concerned tone, but excitement flickered in his eyes. "What's this about?" I smiled and directed them to the living room. "I'm selling the house, Kevin." Their masks completely dropped. Sharon gasped, and Kevin shot out of his chair. "What, selling it? Dad, you can't. The capital gains are huge. Why didn't you talk to me? We have to manage the sale properly. Who is the agent?" His voice was a frantic mix of panic over missed control and ecstasy over imminent liquidity. "Oh, the sale is final, Kevin," I said calmly. "The closing happened last week." Kevin's face went white. "Final? Who bought it? How much? Where is the money going? Did you put the money under my control?" The money is safe, and the buyer is very happy. I stood up and walked to the doorway. In fact, I'd like you to meet him. I ushered in the man who had been sitting in my office since 8:30 p.m., waiting for his cue. George Harrison, George walked into the living room, a confident, knowing smile on his face, and extended his hand. Kevin, Sharon, a pleasure. George Harrison, I believe I own the land you're currently standing on. The air pressure in the room visibly dropped. Kevin, who had idolized George Harrison as a business legend, could only stutter his name. Sharon looked like she'd been slapped. I purchased Henry's entire commercial portfolio and this prime land plot last week, George stated, his voice booming slightly in the silence. It was a major acquisition for my firm, a very clean, very profitable deal for Henry. Kevin looked wildly from George to me. But, the house, you can't live here if he owns the land. Dad, you're homeless. He was less concerned about me than about the optics of his father being a homeless pauper. I let George answer. On the contrary, Kevin, Henry has a leaseback agreement. He lives here completely rent-free for as long as he likes. It was a condition of the sale. The realization hit Kevin with the force of a wrecking ball. He hadn't just lost the house equity. He had lost the leverage, the assets, and the inheritance, all while confirming I was alone and vulnerable every single night. You manipulated me, Kevin screamed, spinning on me. All those calls, you lied, you told me you were alone. This was the moment I was waiting for. I met his furious gaze, and my voice was quiet, but cut him to the bone. I never lied about being alone, Kevin. For 6 months, you asked if I was alone, and for 6 months I was alone in my grief, alone in this house, and alone in my betrayal. You were never calling to check on me. You were calling to check on your inheritance. You were calculating my isolation to predict my death. I stepped back, deliberately creating distance. But last night I lied, because last night I wasn't alone. Last night I had the company of George Harrison and my lawyer finalizing a transaction that secures my future and rewards my loyalty. And speaking of loyalty, I turned to George. George, I'm afraid this family meeting is dissolving. We should proceed with the final documentation now. George nodded, pulling out a sealed envelope. Absolutely, Henry. This is the letter detailing the amended will and the final distributions, as per our agreement. I'm pleased to serve as your executor. I took the envelope and placed it on the mantelpiece, right next to Alice's favorite photo. Kevin, Sharon, I said, my voice heavy with finality. As of today, my will has been fully executed, effective upon my death. Since you spent the last year treating me like a drain and an obstacle, you have earned exactly what you deserve. Your sister, Lisa, who consistently showed me genuine love and concern, even when she believed I was broke, receives the entire liquid estate, including the proceeds from the George Harrison sale. I paused for the final, exquisite moment of devastation. And for you, Kevin, since you were so worried about the tax implications of the house, I've left you a token of my regard. A legal document detailing the full capital gains tax liability on small, non-sold personal items inside this home, which are now your responsibility to liquidate and report. Nothing else. You get the tax bill for the curtains and the old furniture. The reaction was instantaneous pandemonium. Sharon launched into a fit of uncontrolled shrieking, calling me every greedy name imaginable, demanding to see the bank statements. Kevin, realizing the multi-million-dollar catastrophe, lunged toward me, only to be intercepted immediately by George's personal security detail, who had been discreetly waiting outside. The scene escalated so quickly that George calmly called the police to remove them for trespassing. I watched as my son, the man who was so desperate for my money he couldn't even pretend to mourn his mother, was physically dragged out of the house he thought was his, screaming curses and accusations. Sharon followed, collapsing on the front lawn in hysterics. The police officer, seeing George Harrison's official testimony and the signed legal papers, was extremely professional. They were given a trespass warning and told they were never to return. The aftermath has been one of pure, quiet freedom. Lisa was initially stunned by the inheritance, but when I explained the full extent of Kevin's betrayal, she understood my actions. She didn't touch the principal, instead using the funds to establish a mobile clinic, realizing her lifelong dream of helping underserved communities. She visits me often, and those visits are filled with genuine warmth and love. Kevin and Sharon tried to sue, claiming undue influence, but George's impeccable legal team had handled every detail. They had nothing. They were left with their struggling business, massive debt, and the capital gains tax liability on a few $1,000s worth of old furniture. They lost everything because they proved they valued money over family. I am still in the family home, living rent-free, secure, and surrounded by Alice's memory, without the shadow of impending financial ruin or entitled children hanging over me. The money, now secure, is a testament to my hard work and vigilance. The lie I told that night, that I was alone, was the catalyst for the greatest truth I ever revealed, that I was finally, profoundly, free. The silence where Kevin's controlling nightly calls used to be is the sweetest sound in the world. Like this video if you were on my side. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section. Did Kevin get exactly what he deserved for his cold-hearted surveillance? I'll see you all in the next story.